Morning. Like the new truck? Yes, it's an LN60 85 model 2.4 turbo diesel 4runner, live axle front end, very hard to come by, been looking for a while. This one came up and we jumped on it. So the objective this morning is I've done the suspension out of all bits and pieces that we had spares for bullet truck, and we're out here today just to find a shock length. I'm going to take some measurements, we're going to cross it up. Ideally I wouldn't like to be doing much rock crawling on these who knows how old desert jewelers, Bridgestone desert jeweler, made in Japan, still on the sidewall. I'm not sure how old they are, there's still a bit of tread on them. And I have aired them down to around 18 just to give me, so I don't pop them. But we've taken the shocks off. So this trial is going to be leaves only. We're going to take the measurements from eye to eye and then eye to pin and find a shock that's going to suit the length that we made it. So with the suspension rundown, which is pretty much all I've done, is in the front end there we've put in our usual 2-inch standard springs, so they're not a rear up front, they're not we haven't moved the diff forward on this one yet. So basically this is a 2-inch spring. I've got the extended shackles there. I've put some longer brake lines on, drop drag link in, and the adjustable torque arm up front. So we'll see how this flexes up. Without shocks it's going to be a little bit sketchy, but we'll just drive slow. And like I said, with these tyres, we're not here to drive any hard hills, we're just here to find shock lengths. In the rears, I've done what I usually do with that custom top leaf. We picked one that was out of the pack that we had at home, and then we manufactured a set. I had 2 goes at it to get that shackle angle right, but they're the extended shackles. So that's pretty much all I've done up the back. The diff's still in the same location, so the wheelbase hasn't changed. I've got a tail shaft spacer in there. I've replaced the front tail shaft with one of Bullet Truck's spares. It had a better slip yoke than the one that came with the car. 2.4 turbo diesel. It's not a factory turbo, it's an ARB aftermarket kit with the Garrett turbo, and they use their own manifold and crossover pipes. Pretty popular mod back in the day. It's got air and steer. The kids love being picked up from school in it. It's a pretty rare car to see on the road. You've got sliding back windows and chair that folds forward. It's pretty cool. So we'll twin lock it. Now this particular model comes out in a 4.5 diff, so it just works out perfect. I've got centers at home with lockers in them. I've got an ARB one there, I've got a welded one, I've got a Lockrite, and they're all in 4.5s because that's what we run on Bullet Truck. And so I've also got some hardened gears in there. We've got long fields for the front. So it'll be a bit of a weapon, but I'll still be able to drive it on the road. It's got 6 months rego on it. Might be a good spot for some measurements. Might be a good spot for some measurements. Yeah, it's not too bad. You're not going to stay like that for long when you're out wheeling. So let's have a look at each corner. So that spring's starting to open up now. That slip joint's just becoming visible. All these look to be okay. So realistically that's the full length of my shock, maybe 20mm less. The back, like a bigger tyre is going to hit in there, so that's probably as much up travel as a social wheeler needs. What's it droop like? Yeah, that droop's pretty good. I'm happy with that. The leaves are just starting to come apart, so I might go a touch longer on that, but then I took the bump stops out. Yeah, the bump stops were miles away anyway. So then the up travel on this side, we're going to have to maybe do some trimming, but that's pretty good too. Got to make sure the offset's right so it tucks up in this guard area. That's the important part now, making sure nothing's hitting. So what's that bump stop doing? That's not touching either. Look at that leaf spring, it's a soft pack. All right, I better hurry up and get me me measurements and a few photos before something snaps. Watch that rear quarter. Where's my bar work, Adam? I don't want to do a rear quarter chop. Better check that. Oh, it's down now. Miles of room. Next part of this is going to be the shock fitment and I guess the tyres, but I want to do something with the turbo setup. I want to give it a bit more fuel, a bit more air. But anyway, this will be part one of the Gen 1 4runner build. Thanks for watching.